Okay, so I had a few people in the Discord asking about some of the terrain and also specifically the lift-off tops. So be prepared to be a lot more unimpressed with the terrain as I show you a little bit of. A lot of the terrain pieces were actually based off pieces that I did about 10 years ago, 12 years ago. And I restored a little bit for this project. So they're all kind of MDF or kind of hard card bottoms with a wooden frame, and then XPS foam for the in sheets for the bodies. It's taken a little bit of damage from Salute, so it needs a little bit of repair work, but it's all static grass. And what I used for ground cover was actually ashes from burning peat in the stove, mixed with tile ground. Gives you a little bit of a finer ground cover. If you look closely, you can actually now see the joins between the different levels. So not all of the joins have been covered that well. As far as what I used for painting style, I used some of the leopard spotting techniques you can find in Geek Gaming Scenics page. I used a lot of products from Geek Gaming Scenics doing this. But yeah, and then the top is of course just a bit of card that has been cut to do it. Because this piece was built later than the other ones, I didn't have I had to get the same height as the other modular pieces, which was a bit tricky because I didn't have the same height of XPS foam sheeting. So I had to, in the end, use a little bit of plaster to up the height and get the exact same level. And then I cut the foam sheet a little bit wrong here, so I had to put in this little stripe at the end. So, you know, if anybody's looking at doing their own terrain, things are going to go wrong, especially if you do modular and you don't have like precision equipment to do it. If you're just doing it with a jigsaw, you will make mistakes. You just have to keep doing it, and then you can kind of jerry-rig your way into it and figure it out. One thing I will say, if you're doing modular equipment or terrain, one of the best things you can invest in, I'd say, is a static grass applicator. They can be a little bit pricey, but it's better to just do them. Because you can use the static grass to hide joins a little bit. Also get a nice difference in color in your palette. I think one of the things that makes this terrain work a little bit better is I have a nice difference in color with it. And if you have more ground cover, or if depending on what you want, I wanted a more kind of mid-Italian Apennine feel to it. If you go farther south, you can get away with a lot more sand and a lot less grass, which makes your life a lot easier. I made these sections 1.5 by 3 because that's kind of, these sections were rebased and they were just basically this, the size you see here. This entire section was added on for the project. So we'd have something at the launch but if I was going to redo these sections, I'd definitely do 2 by 2, which also works as your smaller board. And then if you put 4 of them together, you have a 4 by 4, which you can kind of use for Force of Virtue, or make it a 3 by 3 if you want it. But yeah, if people are wondering about this, it's kind of a fun little section we use sometimes for scenarios, or it was kind of the idea was either a mine where there's some heretical stuff going on, because you did have a lot of heretical cults going on in Italy and Northern Europe as well, operating out of mines. There's some great stuff in the salt mines in near outside Krakow, I think. The other thing is you also get some great stuff with the brigands hiding out in the cave systems around Rome, which is and also the catacombs. I have 4 other sections of terrain that lift off that I haven't done the underneath yet, and I think I'll probably do at least 1 catacomb to represent the kind of pre-Christian and post and early Christian catacombs that you see in Rome, which also funnily feature in the Count of Monte Cristo. So yeah, that's been a bit of an idea. If you need more details, feel happy to comment and in the Discord and ping me.